Next, we're going to get into the type tool. The type tool actually has 7 different functions. The basic type tool, area type tool, type on a path tool, vertical type tool, vertical area type tool, vertical type on a path tool, and touch type tool. The first we're going to start with is just type tool, where you just type a T, click anywhere on your artboard, around your artboard, it doesn't matter, and you're going to get a line of active text. It defaults with lorem ipsum. I have it set up with URW DIN font in a condensed format because that's what I use for our branding. But we're just going to take a look at it here. It is set up as we look over here to the corner. We'll just bump it to 40 points just so that everything is even. The leading default is 48. We don't have any kerning or any letter adjustment. What we can do is see what the presets will change. So it's set to auto. Let's see optical. Sometimes this will affect the spaces between Y's and the next character, or A's or V's. But if we type that, we see it just moved a little bit. We'll go back. So there is the auto, and here it is with optical. And metric Roman looks like it sets the same as auto. We can change these things by just typing the T for your text tool, and you can click in between any letter that you would like to see different. So we'll type in here and then holding Option or alternate if you're on a PC and arrow key left, we'll turn that over. If you wanted to move all of the letters, select the path and then holding Option or alternate arrow key left or right, and that will change it down here. As you can see, it changes the space between the letters. Another thing that you can change is the percentage in height and width. So we can change it from 100%, which is the default, and we can make it tall and skinny. And as you scroll over each dimension change, you'll see the change reflected on your type path. Leave that, and then do the same with the width. You can also change the baseline, and you can shift it down, which you can see is moving it below, and come back up to 0, and you can move it above. And another change that you can make is adjusting the character rotation. So down here on the bottom right of our tool, if we increase that, you can see it's adding space to the letters by degree, and it's also rotating each letter. So as we go, let's look at just jumping it to 90 degrees. It's half. We were at 45 a second ago, so there's that. And 180, just to see how it quickly changes things. There are other ways to achieve those kinds of effects, but that is a quick one if it's something that you're looking to do in a moment. We also have all caps. You can select these things down here. You've got small caps, superscript, so it's going to make it small and place it up. Subscript, it's going to make it small and place it down. Underline, and strike through. So we'll bring it back to the way we had it. So now getting into the area type tool, we're going to select our shape. Now I did go to the type tool, but by holding Command or Control on a PC, you are able to get the selection tool. And then you'll want to click on an anchor point or a path. This is going to make your text fill into that space. So once you're at this stage, you can change the size if you want to make your text smaller, if you've got more information that needs to fit in your shape. You can also change the paragraph arrangement. So a line left is going to be a Command-Shift-L. To center the text would be Command-Shift-C. You can see it changed over here. To justify it right would be Command-Shift-R. And I'm not sure of the shortcuts for the rest of these, but you can see that as we go through them, it will change the way the characters are filling that space. So these are the more common adjustments to make. You can change the margins from the left side. You can change the margins from the right side. You can also change the indentation on the beginning of a paragraph. The other thing that you can do in this window is hyphenate or not hyphenate. So if you don't want hyphens to split up your sentences, you can just deselect that option, and then it'll make sure that everything starts on its own line. So the next tool we're going to do is type on a path tool, and this is going to start your text wherever you click on your path. So if I click on this far right end of the path, that's where it's going to begin. So you can see I have all this line, but it's only starting here because that's where I told it to start. If I want it to be on the whole path, then I'll start it at the very beginning. And then we'll want to flush that left. And that's how that's going to look. So the next tool we're going to get into is the vertical type tool. So it's just like the type tool, but instead of your letters reading left to right, they're going to read up and down. So the characters aren't rotated, they're still right reading, only your letters are just stacked. Now the adjustment that you can make here is to hold Option and arrow key up if you want to bring them closer, or arrow key down. The character percentage adjustment is still the same, both vertically and horizontally. And you can change its adjustment from the baseline. Also the rotation and spacing of the letters with the character rotation tool. And next we have our vertical area type tool. So this is going to be the same as the other one, where you want to type on a path. And so I've already got the object selected, and I'll just type here. Now I'm not exactly sure why it reads from right to left the way that it does. We've got lorem starting here, ipsum, and it's just going through it, but that's how it's going to do it. We can adjust our spacing vertically and horizontally, and we can also adjust our leading. So it's different than working with paragraphs and with right reading text, but it's adjusted nonetheless. And next we have vertical type on a path tool. So this is going to run our letters along that path. It's a pretty interesting way to do it. I think it works really cool for a spiraling type of abstract line like that. This also, again, is going to have the same kinds of adjustments that we had before. Because it's a fixed path, it's not going to give leading adjustments, but we do have the space between each character that we can adjust. And the last one we have is the touch type tool. And what this allows us to do is to select one character within any body of text that we have, and we can use the predetermined adjustments if we like, or we can come in and we can change it ourselves manually within its space. We can move it in and out of alignment. So this works out really well if you're doing typographical design and you get everything just set the way that you want, and then you just want to add little elements of flair. This is a way to do it without having to convert your fonts to outlines. You can edit them and have them still be editable if you wanted to change the font or do anything else like that. So before today, I probably use the basic type tool 98% of the time. Every now and then I'll use the area type tool, but rarely the vertical versions, rarely type on a path, and I've never used the touch type tool. I'll definitely be finding ways to use those things now. It gives you a lot more options to help to execute those ideas in your head and come up with the most creative and interesting works. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe, hit that like button for good measure, and I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one.